Now, I hate average people. Before I carry on, this video is going to be triggering. Statistically, most people are average. They're gonna live in the center of the bell curve. And you know what? That's honestly okay. I'm not talking about finances here. I'm talking about wanting so little out of life that it just borders on insanity. But this video isn't for those people who subscribe to that. This is my personal opinion and not advice. Most people will be average. However, I hate the idea of doing it just because. Cruising through life in all aspects. My main point to clarify once again is not talking about people being financially average. I would never shit on artists who feel that they are specialized in something they are passionate about, or even engineers who really love their work and are passionate about it, or doctors who are genuine about helping people and not just for the prestige. Now, that would be something unique in our Asian culture, wouldn't it? The issue is summed up best in this example. University students are cookie cutter. What do I mean by that? How do most students pick their course of choice? After getting their GCE A-level results, the first thing they do is go to the university website and see which course pays the highest average salary and then proceed to choose the highest ones their scores allow them to. Now, do I blame them? No. Hell, I was exactly the same. But the main point is this: stop conforming to the norm. Most people look at what the average person can do. For example, what's the average salary of an engineer? Or what's the average salary of a business school student? They then pick based on the highest average person in that field. Now, you're wrong from the start when you begin playing for the middle ground. There are millionaire engineers, chefs, etc. They should be picking an industry where they have a competitive advantage. For example, if you love food, you're going to be naturally inclined to be a better chef. If your reply to this is, oh, well, I don't know what I want to do, so I'll just pick the best option for now to open more doors in the future, then I implore you, while under the safety net of a degree, start to really explore what it is you really want to do. If by the end of 4 years studying, you still don't know, you have truly wasted your life. And that is the saddest thing I've seen among all my peers I've studied with. With that, once school ends, you're stuck on the hamster wheel. Now, it's cute when you're exploring options while studying, even commendable. But once you graduate, you turn into a failure as others go into their jobs, etc. Now, don't get me wrong, it is okay if you're in your 30s or 40s still exploring, but society's expectation of you will be largely negative, and that's something you have to be okay with. That's why it's just more comfortable to just conform and be accepted rather than straying from the path. Now, my personal opinion, fuck them. On my path, I've never met a single positive comment on doing things the way I wanted. My parents hated it, my friends hated it, whoever I shared my dream to all looked at me like I was crazy, overly ambitious, and every time I failed, the response was always, see, I told you so, bro. Now man, let me tell you, it feels good to sit in a car worth the house they need to take a 30-year mortgage on. It feels good to look at a useless piece of metal on my wrist worth multiple times the net worth. But only then they will say, oh man, I always believed you, bro. And you know what? At this point, I don't give a fuck anymore, okay? So the main point is this: you have to understand the system. So let's go back to the issue of university salary rankings and publications. Schools publish these articles because they are there to market the course. Universities, you must understand, are just a business. Education is just a business. And these income stats are there to tell you a dream. What's scary about the word average is that 50% of people are below it, and they underestimate how much work it takes to just be normal. Sadly, in Singapore, you are never going to outwork talent. If someone is gifted in finance, bro, good luck. If someone's a talented coder, you know what? Good luck. If someone has an inclination to math, and it's so high that he can do advanced calculations without breaking a sweat, dude, good luck. Now, there are gifted individuals overseas able to do your job 2 times better and work for 2 times less. Unless you really are the best of the best, just forget about it. Now, let me tell you a story about why I'm like this. In my childhood, I was never exposed to many different sports due to my parents' protective nature. I looked around my friends and almost everyone was playing multiple sports at a time. Now, this led me to think I'm losing out. I'm losing out in skill set, I'm losing out in connections I make, I'm losing out in the most important thing, experience. To be honest, before where I was today, I was just an below average, JC student. All I did was stay home, study, games, so on and so forth. And this carried on to JC, where I was told by my parents to just pick subjects that would help me get ahead in life, like getting a high-paying job like coding or engineering. And the truth is this, I hated what I studied, but I did it anyway. When I approached university, I realized that, I'm already 21, I've built zero skill sets, I have like zero useful connections, and a bunch of time wasted. And then out of sheer luck, I met an old friend who, in the time I was fumbling around life, doing useless shit like my peers, he hit his first $1 million. I never thought it was possible because no one around me did it before. So I asked him for advice. I asked him about the business he was doing, how I could do it, how I could replicate it, and how I could be more like him. He was in the education space. But his only piece of advice was, you will never be able to do what I do. And at first I thought, what the fuck, man? What an arrogant piece of shit. But then he carried on with his story. He said, you will never be able to do what I do because I was born to do this. I can do it better than anyone else. So what he said was, go find what you're able to do that no one else can. Then making money is like breathing to you. That's it. There's no business plan given. There's no secret. It was just do what you are naturally inclined to do and then work harder than anyone else. And this was when I decided to, drop out of university and start to really build my skill sets like trading, sales, marketing, and the list goes on. Now, I found out that I was, below average in sales. I was horrible at marketing, but surprisingly, trading was like reading a children's book to me. And I learned in 2 years more than I have in my entire life. And this speaks volume about what the average is, and that's why I'm adamant on not being average anymore. So, most people haven't even tried many industries. They just stick with it, thinking that the only fear being average is if they don't succeed. So the lesson is this: determine your own self-worth. Find out what you're good at, then work your ass off, and I guarantee you will be in the top percentile in your industry. I'm going to give you the same advice as my friend did years ago. Not everyone is going to make it. If you feel this message speaks to you, then stop watching this video, okay? Quit YouTube and go to work.